Hello, everyone. Welcome to my little impromptu live Q&A. I just wanted to take this opportunity to essentially share some insights for you guys as to how you can make your first $1,000 on Etsy, which I know may seem a little overwhelming when you are getting started, which is why I wanted to do this little impromptu live for you guys today. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, essentially, what I want to do for you guys today is for you to understand Etsy and understand how you can start making your first $1,000. The first thing is understanding that Etsy has essentially like the number of active buyers is important for you to know, because the reason it is because it essentially proves the point that you don't need to have Etsy ads to be successful on Etsy. There's 96.3, well, actually in 2021, there were 96.3 active Etsy buyers on the platform. Additionally from that, folks spend as much as 5 minutes on the Etsy platform. Additionally from that, Etsy is actually the most visited site, fourth ranking after Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and then you find Etsy. So needless to say, Etsy really is a search engine. And this is why I want you to stop spending a dime in advertising when you are starting your Etsy journey. It's very beginner friendly because essentially you are uploading products to a marketplace where people are actively looking for items to buy, right? So the first step is understanding the potential. Now let's do some math because I think it's important to understand what $1,000 profit looks like. And by the way, guys, if you guys are watching me on TikTok, make sure to check out, I'm also live on YouTube, and you can actually check out the slides that I'm sharing here. So just FYI. But in order to make $1,000 on Etsy, here's what's required. And I included the transaction fees. So the transaction fee of Etsy is 6.5. By the way, you would also get a transaction fee if you are selling on Shopify or any other platform. A lot of times these transaction fees are what credit card companies essentially charge us. Then you have a processing fee of 3%. So if you are selling an item that's about $5, the transaction fee would be 0.325 cents. The processing fee would be 0.15 cents, and the total fees would be 0.475. So your profit on a $5 digital product would be $4.53. So knowing that we're not spending a dime in advertising, one sell of $5, you'd be getting $4.53. So in order for you to make a profit of 1,000 in 1 month, you would need to make 227 sales. So you divide that by 30, and let me see. I actually forgot to do the math. So 227 divided by 30. Where's my calculator when I need it? Here it is, 227 divided by 30, I suck at math, is about 7 listings a day. So selling 7 digital products that are $5 a day, which is totally achievable, guys, right? So it's important for you to write that down when you're starting on your journey so you have an understanding of how many items you need to sell on average per day in order to make your first $1,000. By the way, $5 is a very low price for digital downloads. You could be making those like obviously $10 and above, right? But in order to do that, you obviously need to provide more quality. So another thing is selling print on demand, which is my personal favorite. Now, digital downloads are very beginner friendly, but what people do when they're doing digital downloads is that they don't understand that they actually need to do quite a bit of research to have a product that is going to be worth people's time to purchase. Versus with print on demand, you have to understand what kind of product you want to sell, obviously, but it's easier because all you have to do is like create a simple design. The mock-ups are usually done for you with the print on demand company, and all you have to do is like test multiple designs. So with print on demand, let's say that we're selling print-on-demand jewelry with zero advertising. The print-on-demand jewelry that you can sell as of today that doesn't go against the Etsy handmade policy is our print. Outprint is a print-on-demand supplier that is based out of New Zealand. They have lasered engraved coin necklaces, which, by the way, they also ship out of the US as of 2024. So you would sell an item for $49 because it includes a message card and it includes a box. The shipping, you would have your customer pay for it. Usually shipping is anywhere between $4.95 to $6.95, and the customer can pay for that. The transaction fee for something like that, that's $49 for 6.5%, we're talking $3.185. And then your processing fee of 3% would be $1.47. So total fee, we're averaging $4.65, so about $5. The product cost would be $18. So if we put all the math, we're coming at a profit of $31.30. So already the profit margins are much larger here, right? Even though obviously there's a basic cost for the product itself. So if we know that, then in order for us to make $1,000, we would just need to sell one item a day on average. 32 sales times 49 gives you, so the profit margins is 31.30. So 32 sales bring you at about $1,000 in profit, right? So guys, this is achievable. This is totally achievable. For you to get one sale a day is totally achievable. So now that we've done some math, because it's important for you guys to know and break that, I wanted to break that down because a lot of times folks don't fully understand Etsy fees and get overwhelmed and don't really understand the profits that they can get, right? So a couple of roadblocks that I've noticed, and this is from working with folks all of last year and the year before, is most folks are not successful. The first thing is because they're not consistent. Consistency, I can't tell you how important that is. So uploading products consistently, making sure that you're educating yourself, overthinking it. You don't need to have overly complicated products. Getting FOMO and jumping from one side hustle to the next is also something that I've noticed, or people being very negative and having very negative self-talk. And I get it, when you are starting a business, it's very stressful. And when you're not getting results, you think that the problem is the platform, whether it's Etsy or Shopify or TikTok Shop, when in reality, it's just there's a knowledge gap, right? So a lot of folks as well find themselves uploading with absolutely no data. So needless to say, we all have challenges when we start a business, right? To be successful, you need to accept those challenges and you need to understand that they are part of your journey. This is how top 1% Etsy sellers think. This is how top entrepreneurs think. Challenges are going to be part of your journey and you need to be a problem solver. So remember that the issue is not Etsy. It's not Etsy, it's simply your knowledge. So you have to be proactive in finding the answers. Remember that. Be proactive in finding the answer, because if something's not working, it's simply because you don't have the knowledge, okay? So with that said, before we jump into the technicalities, I'm going to provide you a step-by-step. The first thing of that is actually setting up goals, which I know sounds extremely redundant. You probably heard this over and over again, but something as simple as making a commitment to yourself and writing down specifically, this is how much I want to make in the last 30 days. And actually, I recommend that you write down smaller goals that are more realistic versus writing down, I want to make $10,000 in 30 days, especially when you're first starting out. I'd rather you be happy and have a nice surprise of like, oh my God, I made $10,000 in the last 15 days versus overpromising yourself and then feeling overwhelmed. So $1,000 in 30 days is totally within reach. I also want you to create an upload tracker. I want you to essentially track on a daily basis how many items you're uploading on Etsy. I know it sounds very trivial, but again, this is going to be key and so important in your success. So make sure that you do that. Upload, understand first and foremost how much you want to make in the last 30 days and understanding what actions you need to take to do that, and also having an uploading tracker. Okay. So Now that we've done that and we figured out what our goal is and we're ready to take action and we know that we're going to be uploading on a daily basis, you need to understand who the Etsy customer is. You need to understand who shops on Etsy, which I'm actually in shock. A lot of folks don't talk enough about that because Amazon is a very different marketplace than Etsy versus people who shop on TikTok and vice versa. The typical audience of folks who shop on Etsy, and by the way, I pulled this information directly from Etsy and SimilarWeb. These are folks who are usually between the age of 18 and 35. So a large number are actually millennials, and a large number as well are usually women. So the ratio is about I think 58 women to 42 men. So this is really interesting insight. And this is something you need to think about when you're uploading products. That generally these are women who are between 18 and 35 who are shopping on Etsy. So your first step is you need to research to understand demand on Etsy and to understand who's shopping on Etsy. Those are the first step. The way you're going to do that, and this is, again, something that not a lot of folks talk about. The first step is understanding what are people actively talking about on social media. If you spend a lot of time on TikTok, if you spend a lot of time on Instagram, you might have noticed there's a trend. There's things that are people talking about. So if you were to do a digital product, I'm going to give you a little hint. A lot of folks on IG Reel or TikTok have been promoting doing faceless account, faceless social media account, and promoting affiliate marketing and how to make money online. So needless to say, we know that there's a demand. People are actively searching for that. Well, I found a listing that was uploaded 1 month ago. This is a digital download. And by the way, if you're on TikTok, make sure to watch my YouTube live because this is where I'm sharing my slides. This faceless digital marketing bundle made $4,000 revenue in 1 month because it's a faceless marketing bundle that folks can use and can leverage on their journey to creating their own faceless marketing account. So notice how this happens. You have to understand search intent. You have to understand what people are into. And by the way, do not feel like trends disappear from one moment to the next because trends have a higher shell value than we think, right? Like folks are going to be researching these terms for longer than you might assume. So understanding what people are into on social media is the first step. And a lot of people only do their research on Etsy, and that actually is working against them. You have to look for information in other places as well. So first step, understanding what people are into in social media. People are looking for faceless marketing bundles. People are really into creating faceless account. And by the way, this product is selling for $67 and people are buying it. So just to tell you, the opportunities are there. It's just understanding demand. You also need to understand design trends. What are people into? What kind of designs are currently trending? And the reason is because that's going to inform the kind of product you're going to put out there. That's going to also inform demand in general. So something that has been going viral, and this trend has been ongoing for about 2 years, this design trend is birth flower months. Birth flower months. So each of us have a different birth flower. So a flower assigned to the month we were born in. And a lot of different folks like these items as gifts, especially for their mother or grandmother or family gift. So this specific product that I'm sharing right now has only been uploaded 2 months ago. It's a birth flower month bouquet. It's a Canva file. It's not a Canva. Well, it's both. It's a Canva file, and it's also a poster that you can purchase. And they've made an estimated revenue of $1,619, and it's been listed for about 2 months. So we know that there are opportunities within birth flower months. So again, see the importance here of understanding where the demand is. And the reason that is too, guys, is because most folks on Etsy, they will go after very competitive family niches. So instead what they will do is essentially look at a product and think, okay, I want to create a product for Mother's Day. Let me create a product mom gift. And so there's two school of thoughts, right? There's my school of thoughts where I'm not scared of a little competition and I will go with those keywords, but I have a different tactic than everybody else does. Most folks will go on Etsy, look for that keyword, and then they will emulate what's already available on Etsy. And unfortunately, that's not going to work, especially now in 2024. You have to think outside the box. And my method is retrofitting trends. So another example that I'm going to share with you is this glass mug, which has a bamboo lid. And this glass mug, well, it's been available for about 10 months, but it's generated an estimated revenue of $72,000 per month. So it's a personalized birth flower coffee mug, which is made out of glass, and it's only been up on Etsy for 10 months. Notice again, they're using a birth flower month. So hence the important understanding of what people are into, understanding not just trends, but demand. What is the demand? What are people into? This is more important than thinking about niches, because when you think about niche, if anything, you pigeonhole yourself. And again, I'm not saying that there's not opportunities to go further into niches and find products that retrofit those niches. However, everybody else thinks this way. You need to think differently, especially if you want to be a top 1% Etsy seller. This is what's helped me and my students be so successful. Retrofitting demand into niches. So in this case, this product is so popular for multiple reasons. First, because they're able to stuff their listing with different, very appropriate keywords, which include they're going after the bridesmaid niche. So people are buying volume for bridesmaid with this birth flower month cup. They're also going after mothers. They're going after sisters. The list goes on. And by the way, this information is very easily available to you by simply using a tool like Everbee. You will have all the keywords and understand everything that folks are searching for and what are the different keywords that this specific listing is using in order to bring all this traffic. So the reason they're successful is because they're understanding demand, they're understanding how to retrofit the demand with all these very competitive niches. And if you understand how to do that, this is how you will crack Etsy, and this is how you will get the most sales. Because unfortunately, what happens is most people only go for low competition, and low competition will get you a few sporadic sales, but in the long term, this is not how you're going to be successful. This is another example. Again, recurring theme here, birth flower bouquet charm necklace. This is an outprint necklace where it's a bouquet showcasing all the different folks in your family. They're all represented with a specific flower. This listing, it's been up for a little longer, but they're generating $11,000 in monthly revenue, $11,000 per month. And by the way, the necklace that I'm showing you does not even include a message card, guys. Does not even include a message card. So half the work is done. If you were to include an even more personal note, this item would get even more sales. And I'm in shock that not more people do this. This is an outprint necklace that you could easily sell. So all that to say that you have to think differently than everybody else. And you have to understand that what's going to drive your decision process when uploading a product is looking at everything cohesively. I want you to look at Pinterest. I want you to look at TikTok. I want you to look at IG Reel. I want you to look at 9gag, Reddit, like you name it. Go on all these different platforms to understand if there's a recurring theme. Another example that I am sharing here on YouTube is soft girl ballet core. Soft girl is a trend that's happening right now, or ballet core. So essentially it shows essentially like using little bow elements and whatnot. And so a lot of folks in the apparel niche are leveraging those design elements to include those in apparel. So this is how you're going to be able to go after a very competitive niche, which is Mother's Day, by understanding elements that people are into and adding them within your design. And by the way, guys, like I'm just giving you example of apparel, but these same elements can be added into different products. These same elements can be added into digital products. If you were to sell PNGs that people can leverage for their design, the list goes on. But understanding this is so important in your success. The reason you're not successful is because you don't understand these very principles. I'm going to reveal as well another hack that I love to use. And again, a lot of people, I'm in shock, don't use this. This hack works if you are in the US and you have the TikTok Shop feature. I want you to go on TikTok Shop and do a quick search for funny mug or funny t-shirt. And then once you do that, so it's on the top on Shop, once you do that, you're going to look at different products to see how many sales they are getting. And it's going to tell you 912 sold, whatever. This example right here is Freaks in the Sheets. And now everybody's going to come after me because I'm sharing something that's an IP infringement. Please disregard that for a second. The reason I'm sharing this example is because I want to show to you that this particular mug was sold 912 times on TikTok Shop. And then if you go and look at the t-shirt on Etsy, the revenue generated with a t-shirt that had the same saying was $52,000. So needless to say, you can also find a lot of different ideas on TikTok Shop. And Etsy is actually more beginner friendly than TikTok Shop. That's my personal opinion. So Etsy could be a great way for you to test different products to see where there's potential. And then the sky's the limit, guys, right? But the problem is many of you are all over the place. You're trying to do affiliate marketing. You're trying to do e-commerce. You're dabbling into very multiple side hustle and you're not focusing in one. So instead, I want you to focus in one side hustle, knowing that as somebody who's been around the block, I've been doing digital marketing and e-commerce for a really long time. Etsy's the most beginner-friendly way to get started. I've done Shopify, I've done affiliate marketing, you name it. I've been through the school of hard knocks. And this is why I love to teach Etsy and its potential. And it's not too saturated like everybody else likes to tell you. Saturation doesn't matter. Majority of folks who start an Etsy store are never successful. You know why? Because they give up. They try to upload a few listings and then never finish. So what's the secret sauce here? And what I want you to take away from today's live Q&A is that you need to understand and you need to look at everything cohesively. I almost want you to also use a tool like Google Trends. You can also use, by the way, Google's AI, Gemini, which just came out not so long ago. And you can use that tool to help you find trending items. But once you have a list of things that are trending, design elements or whatnot, you need to retrofit these ideas and decide on what kind of product you should sell, whether it's digital products, whether it's print on demand. And obviously, then you're going to have to do a deeper research if you decide to do print on demand, whether you want to sell apparel, whether you want to sell glass mugs or blankets, the list goes on. You want to pick one product and simply upload that product over and over and over again until you get your first few sales. Because too often people jump around from product idea to product idea and they get overwhelmed and hence do not get really good at uploading good listings. And when you're starting out as a business owner, the number one thing you struggle with is time. You don't have enough time. You probably have a full-time job. You have other things going on and your business is only a part-time priority. But if you are very diligent about scheduling an hour or two every day to work on your Etsy store every day, I promise you, you will start getting results. So look at data. Data is king. Use a tool like Everbee to understand where there's opportunities, not just with these design elements and not with just understanding trends, but also with products. Where is opportunities with these print-on-demand products? Where is there opportunity with these digital products? Look at what is on Etsy, what is actually getting sales, and look at where there's perhaps a gap, because your goal is to fill the gap and find a way to differentiate yourself from everyone else that is out there. So here's an example. For instance, like candles is another great product. Those are available on Printful. Candles can be a very simple way, especially if you don't have design expertise, for you to get started. I also personally love our print necklaces. Those are a little bit more hard for folks to figure out, but because they're a little harder, a lot of folks don't upload them and you have a little less competition. You need to be using a tool like either Photoshop or Photopea in order to upload those listings. But needless to say, there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, there's a list of products that I can share with you guys that have a lot of opportunities, right? Like candle, blankets, outprint necklaces, those glass mugs that are available via Guten, tumblers do really well. The list goes on, right? But you have to do the due diligence of picking one product and sticking to it and understanding as well your research component. Research and data is king. And most times people get overwhelmed with research and data, and then they don't know how to interpret that data and then upload that listing. I've noticed a lot of time this is where the disconnect happens. People are good at doing research, but then they don't know how to transform this research into an irresistible listing. That's the part that requires practice and requires you uploading a decent amount of listings to start having an understanding of how that works. And don't get discouraged if you don't beat that right away, because it's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. And again, this is the only thing you have to focus on. Everything else is noise. Like, you don't need to have a brand when you are on Etsy. As a matter of fact, I don't recommend that you do when you are on Etsy. Etsy is a marketplace. And when you are the very beginning stage, the purpose of Etsy is for you to understand where the opportunities are. It's for you to understand what's going to work for you and what's not going to work. And once you figured out, okay, this niche or this idea is getting me a lot of traction, it's getting me a lot of sales, you can completely rebrand your store at that point. It's not a website. So it's not going to cost you anything to go back and rebrand. But folks overcomplicate the process. They think that they have to know what niche to go after. And as a result, get so caught up in all these nitty gritty that they don't do the most important thing, which is actually uploading listings. You don't need to have another question I get is like, how many listings do you need to upload? It's not about quantity, it's about quality. If you were to upload 100 mediocre listing, it would not get you anywhere. So people get discouraged because I've seen both, right? I've seen folks who upload perfect listings and then never get any traction because they are putting too much time and effort in having a perfect listing. So it's kind of like a fine line. You need to have what I call an MVP, minimal viable product, which, by the way, is a term used in the startup world. So what that means is that you need to have all the right elements inside your listing that are going to help you to determine whether or not that listing has a potential of actually getting sales. So 3 images is enough, having okay SEO, having okay descriptions. And once you see whether or not people are biting, then you can go back and you can optimize your listing, adding more images, adding a video, SEO optimizing, the list goes on. So very important for you guys to understand that. So simple is always better. I'm sharing here Canva templates that we share inside our memberships, inside my membership. And so essentially, you always have to take these ideas that you find and find a way to make it as simple as possible. So a trend that's going on right now, possums are really trending, raccoons and whatnot. So inside the membership, we created a Canva template for our folks to be able to leverage it. And then we wrote, if I am moody, give me foodie, which is cute. And this was inspired from other apparel t-shirts that are currently trending on Etsy. So then it's your job to go in, create those templates, and upload it to which other products you decide to focus your own attention on. Obviously, as well, something very important to note is that not all trends are going to work for all products. So for instance, a trend like this might not necessarily work on a candle, which is why you always have to go back to asking yourself these two questions. One, understanding demand, and two, understanding who is your gift for and what is the intent of this gift. You have to do the reverse psychology of understanding who your customer is and what the purpose of the item is. And this is something, again, a lot of folks don't do this due diligence. And this goes as well when you're doing digital products. You have to understand who your potential customer is and the purpose of the item that they're buying. In the example that I shared earlier with the faceless marketing bundle, this specific product, so we know this is trending currently on TikTok and Instagram. We know that specific product is for folks who are interested in getting started with their faceless marketing account, whether on social media and IG or TikTok. And hence we're providing them with a tool that's going to make their lives easier. We're providing a solution to a problem. The same goes with gifts, right? Somebody might need a gift for a birthday. Somebody might need a gift for graduation. The list goes on. So you have to understand what's going to work, who your recipient is, and who they're buying it for. You always need to do that due diligence. So in this case, what I'm showing this example with the possum, this is geared towards a younger demographic. They're not going to give this to their mom. They're going to give this to a friend, or they're going to buy this for themselves. So you have to understand how to retrofit these trends, but you also have to understand who the potential customer is and what the intent of the gift is. So with that said, I hope that you found this presentation super helpful. I currently have a membership, which is month to month. And within the membership, I give you guys access to hot video trends. You get those twice a month. You also get one monthly live Q&A support call. You also get a community portal. And along with that, you also get access to Canva templates. So whatever trends we're sharing with you guys have access to Canva templates, so you can literally take these elements and start putting it in those different products that you're uploading and create your own templates. If this is something you're interested in doing, please know that for a limited time, this is $67 a month. The price is going to increase in a couple of weeks. We also include for you guys like bonus AI prompts and whatnot. So here's the link if you're interested. It's also available in my bio. And within a limited time as well, you guys are going to be having access, like I've mentioned, to AI templates, so AI prompt templates. You're going to have access as well to Canva templates. You're going to have access to 2 monthly videos. But the most important part is you're part of a community of folks who are taking action. And this is where you can actually ask your questions. So whenever you feel stuck, you have a place to be able to share whatever you're going through, those roadblocks, with an active community of folks who can help you. And community is everything. Having a place where you can ask your question is everything. So needless to say, guys, wherever you are in your journey, I want you to take a step back. I want you to understand where you are in your journey. And I want you to also see where you are based on when you started. What I mean by that is, if you've been on Etsy for the last 6 months and you haven't been getting any significant results, you have to dig deeper and understand what the issue could be. Is it because you're not consistent? Is it because you're not uploading enough listings, so you don't have enough data? Is it because your research method is outdated? Is it because you don't understand how Etsy works? Is it because you don't know how to upload a irresistible listing? What is the core fundamental issue stopping you from being successful? And then you have to be proactive in finding the solution so you can actually start seeing results. So Thank you guys for joining me on this super impromptu live. I hope this was helpful. The replay will be available on YouTube. The link is in my profile. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys inside the membership, hopefully. So I'll see you guys soon. And thanks for joining. Bye, guys.